As you can see, we're pretty bundled up here in Iceland. We are here to celebrate our wedding anniversary and my birthday, which happens to be in September. And as you can see, September might not be the most ideal time to come here, because that's really when the summer ends here. However,
it's also when the aurora season begins.
And that's also a season when the northern lights are visible. However, it is a relatively colder month to come here. However, these sites are so beautiful that I think for most people it's not a big deal if the weather is a little cold. But Ladina prepared for this really well, so she brought, as you can see, all the proper clothing so we can actually enjoy this trip. So right now we are at one of the Game of Thrones filming locations. For those of you that don't know what Game of Thrones is, which I would be surprised if you don't know, it's a really popular show on HBO that has a huge following, and a lot of the filming was done here in Iceland. Okay, and we are right now at one of the locations that was used to film a few of the episodes. After visiting Tenglir National Park in Iceland, which was our first destination upon our arrival, Ladina and I were craving some really good European coffee and possibly some pastries. So Wifey recommended a place in Reykjavik known as Broad and Company. So we are here and we are enjoying ourselves a nice hot cup of coffee with some croissants. So we got a good cup of coffee, some amazing croissants, and now we are headed to Brewer Falls. Brewer Falls, I believe it's one of the waterfalls here in Iceland, and Ladina is anxious to go check it out, and we are going there right now. And thankfully today the weather cleared up a little bit, so we can actually see the mountains and all the beautiful views of this country. So I will make sure I share that with you. Finally got a chance to pull over so we can actually absorb this beautiful view. So we have arrived at Brewer Falls. Ladina right now is getting paying for the parking. All right, guys, so one of the locations that Ladina and I wanted to check out is this area behind me is where the tectonic plates separates the continent, North American from European. It's a really cool site. A lot of people come here and check out. You can actually technically be at two places at once. And so Ladina and I, we're gonna actually walk over there and look at the area where it separates. That's awesome. Let's go check it out. So right behind me, it's one side of the separation, okay? Once we go the opposite direction, which is to the top of the hill over there, you're gonna see the one area of the another area of the separation as well. But this is it. How cool is that? So we are walking up to the top of the mountain where some of the separation of the plates are visible. If you're doing this hike, you need to make sure you have your hiking boots and the proper gear to be able to come up here comfortably and really enjoy this beautiful scenery. I think we're getting close. Wow. Look how beautiful this is. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow. Alright guys, we are coming up on the separation. This is it. Wow. So this is the European side and this is the American side. That was a very cool area to see that. And now we're heading back to the camper van and we're gonna go to our next destination. So right now we have arrived at Geyser. So Geyser is an area where you can see natural thermal pools evaporating. And we are walking towards some of those evaporation sites right now. It's kind of like Yellowstone, yeah.
Yeah, or she's
Yeah. All right.
probably not as pretty.
Definitely not as pretty as Yellowstone, but it, you know, the same concept. This is the Stoker Geyser. Now, supposedly every 5 minutes, there we go. Exactly, every 5 minutes, this is what happens. You get a big splash of the evaporations, which is really cool. And luckily, I was able to film it. All right, so we saw the spewing geysers, I think. That's what you call it here. Stoker. But that was pretty cool. And now we are heading back toward the camper van and head toward the next destination. We are heading towards this restaurant that cooks everything with tomatoes, based on what I'm hearing. Yeah, it's called, what is it called again, babe?
He's called Fridheimer.
Fridheimer.
Heimer.
Fred Heimer. Okay, got it.
But it's a really, really popular restaurant.
And it's really hard to get
in
in.
an episode of the Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I've never seen it.
I don't watch the
That's what I read.
Kardashians, but apparently,
That's what I read on the internet.
apparently the Kardashians have been to Fred Heimer,
So that just gives you an idea of how popular it is.
so it's pretty popular. I mean, not that we are following those folks,
But I
yeah.
tried to get reservations, but it was booked like way out in advance.
So yeah, they were completely
We're
booked
gonna try
out.
to do walk-in. Don't know if we'll be lucky or not, but everything is like tomato based. They have a greenhouse there. The tomatoes, they even like supply their own bees to like pollinate the tomato vines.
Yeah, obviously, this restaurant specializes in tomatoes. So based on what we've heard, it's hard to get in. Try to make a reservation, that didn't work.
So I'm
And
gonna go in and be like,
so hopefully we're gonna try to walk in and see, maybe we get lucky, walk in and they have something or somebody cancel. So we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, if that doesn't work, we're gonna move on to the next destination. So we are at the Fredheimer restaurant, which again specializes in tomatoes, and pretty much everything on their menu has some sort of a tomato ingredient in it. As you walk toward the restaurant, you'll see the greenhouses they use to grow all the tomatoes. Again, we both have our fingers crossed. Hopefully we get lucky. Somehow we're able to get a table. And we don't care even if you have to sit at the bar, but because this will be a very cool experience. So let's see what happens. Nope, unfortunately they're completely booked up. No tables at all. So they recommended they have a vine bar, I guess that's what they said, that we may be able to have an area we can try their limited menu. This wasn't the ideal, but we'll see what happens. We're definitely gonna come back in the future, and we'll probably plan for it a lot sooner than we did this time. So we actually kind of lucked out. We did find a table at their wine bar, which again has a limited menu. But I'm happy at least we get to try a few of their items. So this is your menu. As I mentioned earlier, it's very limited, but the fact is everything is made with the tomatoes they grow here on their premises, which still makes it very cool. And as a chef, it's a great experience, and I'm sure my wife is enjoying it as well. So we're gonna have the antipasti, we're gonna have the cheese platter, the bruschetta, and then we're gonna also try their tomato soup. And then if we have any room left, we might try their tomato cheesecake, which sounds very interesting.
I might try the tomato beer.
And Ladina may try their tomato beer.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it is different.
Sounds a little weird, but I want to try it.
Yeah. All right. First up is their tomato beer. Something I've never tried, and Ladina wanted to try it, so let's give it a shot, see how it is. The beer, it was good, but I personally don't taste the tomato. You know, it's there, but it's not a dominant flavor. It's good though. We ordered the cheese plate, the bruschetta, and the antipasti. So let's dig in. They don't allow corn syrup in Iceland, so all their sodas, everything is the original recipe that's made with regular sugar, and that's just awesome. It's one of the things that I really liked about here is that they don't allow GMOs or corn syrup or anything in that nature. So the food is just healthy, fresh, clean. It's amazing. All right, babe, let's dig in. You ready? Let's dig in. And last but not least, the tomato soup. Amazing. The food is fantastic. I mean, the tomatoes are just so fresh and just perfect. Amazing, amazing, amazing. As you can see, we're killing everything. Thank you all for watching the second episode from our Icelandic adventure. Tune in next week to watch the next episode, and please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Until next time, happy trails.